Alright guys, so today I am doing a quick video on tassel templates that I will have up on my website on Sunday. How to use them to make both a tassel that goes on a D-ring with a rivet or the tassel caps that I have on my website. Now you can buy smaller tassel caps from other people. The tassel cap template will still work for those, you just won't need it as wide as this. So as always, I'm making one that's green. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this down that way, over the, no wait, that way, sorry. And then we're just going to use some masking tape to hold it in place so that it won't shift while I'm trying to do things. And also, we're using masking tape because it won't leave residue all over the template. Should be nice. Right, so now that it's held in place, I can kind of move it around a bit more. So what you want to do is you want to take, I'm taking a non-permanent pen, so this is just a friction pen, and you're going to mark the top circles. And so this is where we're actually going to end up cutting, and then you can mark down as far as you want your tassel to go. So I'm going to do a full 5-inch tassel, so you just mark in those holes to say that we're going to stop to there. And then what else you can do is you can take some more masking tape and line it up where you want it to stop. So there's lines on there, so you can just do that, and now you know where to cut to. So I'm going to start this end. Now, because I've taped it, it's going to stay, and we're just going to put our rotary cutter in and cut down to the line. Now, these end lines are higher because this is the allowance to go up into the tassel cap. So then we're just going to put our rotary cutter in and cut down to the masking tape, making sure that we don't forget where we're up to, because I will. So I'm going to use my nail as my reference point. So we're just going to cut all the way along. And obviously this takes a minute. So I chose to speed this up so you weren't just watching me cut over and over and over. And now I'm going to voice over so it doesn't sound weird. But yeah, the nail really helps to know where to start and stop. So now you can take off this piece because we don't need it there anymore. The longer you leave masking tape, I personally find the harder it is to get off. But that's just me. Okay, and so I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to take off these pieces, but I'm going to save these pieces for the next one. And so then the marks that I marked with this, we can just take a normal ruler and cut all the way across the top like that. And then using those edge ones, we're going to cut all the way across the two sides like that. And then we're going to find our bottom marks and cut it across like that. So I've just got this little bit of scrap, but that's okay. So now I've got a fully even cut tassel with the top. So along this top edge, we want to take some double-sided tape, like so. And then obviously peel off the backing. And then you're just going to start from one end and start rolling it over as tight as you can. So you want this to be tight because then you'll get more tassel in your tassel cap. So I'm pushing quite firmly. I thought maybe it was just going to roll, but I'd have to put too much pressure on it because I'm trying to get it nice and tight. So you just want to roll it up. Now, if it doesn't fit into the tassel cap, that's okay. You just have to unwind it a little bit and chop a little bit off. So just chop it off little bits at a time so that you don't make it too thin. So that is now rolled up and a fabulous looking tassel. So I'm going to take my tassel cap. Now these ones are held together with 2 screws. So then we're just going to make sure the screws don't run away for a start and feed that in. So I'm going to twist it against itself to see if I can get the whole lot in. And so now I've got the tassel. So I'm just going to push it into the tassel cap like so. And again, this one isn't quite as thick, but before with my other one, what I was doing is I was following that way and twisting it in like that to get the insides in. And so then you can just pick whichever part you want. You want to push it all the way up. And what this does is it makes it so the edge of the tassels come out at the base of the tassel cap. And then we're going to grab a screw. And I'm going to grab my fancy screwdriver. I got this on eBay, like 30 bucks. We're just going to screw it in. And eventually it gets too hard. And it slows right down, but that one went all the way in. So these screws go all the way flush, and what it's doing is screwing through all the layers of the vinyl so that your tassel won't fall out. So we're just going in. And then we get to there, and it gets a little bit stiffer, so I can just manually twist it with this. You can use it like a normal screwdriver, it's just more fun when it's electric. So you just want to make sure that they go in flush or even slightly indented. Basically, you don't want them to hang out, and then you can just clip it to anything you like. So there you go, guys. Tassel caps, where you can actually see what I'm doing. Right, so for my next tassel, I will be using a swivel clip with a rivet to set it instead of a tassel cap. And I'm going to use this leftover brown snakeskin looking vinyl that I have. So I'm just going to set up the template and I'm going to stick it from the front because I'm just using like a giant piece. So I'm just making sure this sticks basically so it won't move. And then I'm going to use a fine liner like texter. So the tape's on it because this is what I use in my scan and cut machine. So I'm just going to mark the top tassel circles. And I also need to come down on this side, and there's like an extra side one here. So we need to mark that, and then however long we want our tassels. So I'm going to go 5.5 inches on this. So it goes up every ½ inch for you so that you can measure however long you want your tassel. I tend to like my tassels long, but that's just me. So I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to cut all the lines. So I'm even going to cut this little short one on the edge here. And you always want to push away from yourself so that you don't cut yourself. Okay, so now we're going to peel off our tape, oops, and drop it on the floor because I can't do a video without dropping something. I'm going to lift this off and I'm just going to grab a normal ruler. And then the marks that I've made at the top, I can see here. So I'm just going to cut that like so. And then we want to come and cut the side off like that. And we also want to cut off the bottom. Where did my marks go for that? All right, chop that there. So now the bottom is free and tassel-y, which is what we want. So you want to come across to this side and we're going to cut off the furthest part. And then we're going to lift this tassel over out of the way. And our mark that we made, which is here, so I'm just going to transfer it to this piece. So there's our little mark. We're going to make sure that we're not cutting the tassels. And then we want to cut straight across there, like that. So we're going to just have this one thick bit at the end, and then we've got curvy tassel. As you can see, I've been storing my vinyl with a curve, so I might just later stick a cloth over this and stick it in the heat press to flatten it out again. But anyway, so we're going to draw a line to make it easy to see what we're doing. We're just going to draw a line along the top of the tassels. Whoops, that did not work. There we go. So this is more for your benefit so that you can see what we're doing. So this is the top edge of the tassel. So now what we want to do is grab some more double-sided tape. You could also use glue, but then you'll have to sit and wait for it to dry. And then I'm going to grab another little tiny bit, and we're going to stick it right at the line on the underside on that thick part, or right there. Okay? So, move all that out of the way. I'm going to peel this one off. Hopefully it's going to do it nice and easy. Excellent. So I'm going to take the D-ring, or the, swivel clip, or whatever you're using, and I'm going to fold this up to that line that we drew. Okay? So that's now attached there. I'm going to peel this off, and then we're going to fold this up again, and that will sit right at that top edge. See that? Sits right at the top edge. And then we can just fold it over itself again and again and again, like that. And so now we're going to have a fabulous tassel. So to finish this tassel off, what we need to do is we need to grab our hole punch, and I am just going to punch a hole directly through all of that, like so. And then I'm going to push through the post, doesn't matter which side, because this is a swivel clip, so there's no front or back. And I'm using a double capped rivet, so it's nice on both sides. And then we're just going to grab our rivet set and squish it down, and then you have another tassel. So they're a bit of a different look. This one's completely round, whereas this one's slightly flatter. But this one, you're more likely to have the hardware at home, so you can pick.